What up, what up? This is Coach Liebs, and welcome to episode 32 of Coach Talk. I'm going to give you guys a quick Sideline Hustle update and then go right to Q&A. Got a bunch of questions in my Instagram inbox and the DMs that I want to get to, and we haven't done Q&A in a while, so we'll make up for it there. Just briefly, Taylor Gabriel, the number one receiver for the Bears, he had DM'd me yesterday, sent me a clip of him versus the Dolphins last week. And a release he had on a go route and a nice catch he had. And I just broke that down into a teach tape this morning. So check that out. One of the newest posts on Sideline Hustle on Instagram and Twitter. Broke that down this morning. He reposted it on his page and shouted us out, which was awesome. Hopefully that'll do a lot to grow the brand and the awareness. And, like I said yesterday when I kind of mentioned this, it's just amazing to get this kind of attention and respect from some of the best receivers, in the NFL and in the world. And it just tells you that we're on to something, and it's just more motivation to keep working harder and keep trying to grow the brand and do more to provide value for you guys, for the audience, and continue to educate everybody on the craft of wide receiver and the business of football and everything we're talking about. But on to Q&A. Let's get right into it. Ethan Convey, who's been a loyal Sideline Hustle follower, so shout out to you. He asked me, do you recommend postgraduate years to young seniors? And I think this is a great question and something that a lot of kids kind of struggle with at this point. A lot of kids, especially if they thought they'd be getting offers mid-season, haven't had any offers yet, and maybe they want to strive to get a D1 offer or offers at a certain academic school, then post-grad can be an option. I think what you need to ask yourself is, what are your goals? Are your goals to go to post-grad to get a D1 scholarship? I know some guys, being a former NESCAC coach, and I know some guys will go to postgraduate years to get their grades up so that they can get into an Ivy League or a NESCAC school, where, like a lot of times we will kind of defer kids like at Wesleyan and say, hey, if you go to, this private school, this post-grad school and get a certain GPA, we'll admit you the next year. A lot of times admissions works with you that way. So there's a couple of reasons why people will go to post-grad, but I think the number one thing you got to know is what are your goals? What are you hoping to get out of that year? What's your family situation? Because a lot of times, going to graduate school is going to cost your family a lot of money. Only certain people can afford that and have the luxury of being able to afford that. And then you just need someone to be honest with you. Like, if your goal is to earn a Division I scholarship, you need to go to a coach that you think is going to be honest with you and find out if that's really very feasible. If the chances of you earning a Division I scholarship from going to postgrad are 10%, it's probably not worth it. But if you're a kid who maybe, was injured a lot in his career, you were a late bloomer, or, you just didn't get to play a ton because you were on a great team, whatever it might be, those are circumstances where, maybe you are a D1 player, you're just kind of a diamond in the rough. Go somewhere where you'll be the focal point. Go to a prep school where, you'll get the ball more, you'll be more of, the number one attraction there, and then you can put better reps on film and earn yourself a D1 scholarship. It's possible. You need someone who knows your game well to be honest with you. Then obviously, like I said, your family situation. And if it's a grade thing, I think if an Ivy League school or NESCAC school tells you, hey, if you get these grades at this school, we'll let you in, and that's what you want, then that's very worth it. I've seen that work out for a lot of kids. So that's something that I think can be a trusted path. Next question, Burn Frederick, again on Instagram. He asked, what are the most effective ways to shave time off your breaks in and out of your routes? I think it's a good question. The number for me, I teach every route has a specific break point. So if it's a hitch route, we call it a drop pop. You're going to drop on your inside, pop on your outside. It's sudden, drop pop, it's quick. That's how you run a hitch route or a stop route. For like a 5 to 6 yard in route or a stick route and out route, that's a kind of quick game. 5 to 6 yards, we call it a square break, drop break line. And again, drop in the direction you want to go, sink your hips, break line to gather yourself. That's one break point. And then like a tight break is like a curl or a comeback. And the footwork for that is drop 1, 2, 3. Drop in the direction you want to go, 3 choppy steps to gather yourself, and then finish downhill at a 45-degree angle. And there's a few more. There's about 5 to 6 break points and other things. And I think I'll post some things on the story, kind of giving you the specifics to each break point when they're applied to certain routes. And then I think to shave off time, which was your question, it's just really practicing those break points over and over and getting to a point where they're second nature and you don't have to think about them, and you've done each one of them a million times. And that's when now, you're going to be so clean and so efficient and out of your break because it's a trained movement. It's not ever unfamiliar for you. And your body is used to getting in and out of that break very quickly. I think you got to train it and work on it just like anything else. But the specific break points, it's not just running and, hey, I'm going to turn around at 10 yards or I'm going to break in at 12. Like, there's specific footwork and specific body mechanics that need to be practiced in order to get really good at that. And I think that's the key, is focusing on those little details. But again, practicing each route individually and mastering the break point for each one of those is key. Coach Braun, he has been a longtime follower and a really, really loyal supporter. He DMs me quite a bit, and we talk a lot each week. I appreciate you, Coach Braun. He asked me, what drives you to coach the way you do? And I think this is probably my favorite question of all of them. What drives me is being a role model to the kids and being a mentor to the kids. For me, there's no better feeling than the feeling I get when I've been an influential force in a kid's life and either helping him improve his game or helping him improve his life in general and helping him become a better person. There's no better feeling for me. There's nothing more fulfilling. It's why I've been coaching since I was, a junior in college. And it's just something I love doing. I feel like it really is like my calling is to use my influence and use my knowledge of football, use my ability to motivate to touch as many people as possible and help as many people as possible. And I think, I've continued to further that calling, if you will, with the Sideline Hustle and finding a way to use Instagram and use Twitter to educate thousands of people that otherwise I never would be able to get in contact with. It's been an unbelievable feeling. It's why I have so much passion for this. It's why I enjoy doing it so much and I put out so much content, because there's nothing like spending 2 hours making a video and then seeing it reach, 50,000 people across all platforms and see the comments and the DMs that come in on how that video or that technique helped a kid. It's really incredible, and it's something that I think is just getting started and will continue to grow. But as far as how you do that, like how do you become that force in people's life? I only know one way to do this. I learned my coaching style from Anthony Campanelli, who's now the defensive coordinator at Boston College. He was the receivers coach at Rutgers. And from Ralph Friedgen, who is a legendary Hall of Fame coach, was the head coach at Maryland for 10, 15 years, won a national championship as the OC at Georgia Tech, coached in the Super Bowl with the Chargers in 1995 and lost to Jerry Rice and Steve Young. Incredible coaching career. He was the offensive coordinator at Rutgers my first year there. And for those of you guys who have been following, he's been a huge part of the Sideline Hustle. But what they really taught me was that the only way I know to motivate kids and to be true to kids and be a great coach is to hold kids accountable and be extremely hard on them, because, the expression I kind of came up with is accountability equals love. And that if I'm holding you accountable, that means I really love you and I'm trying to push you to be the best and to bring the best out of yourself, and I'm holding you to a high standard that you might not be able to set for yourself, but it's my job as your coach to see the potential in you and push you to reach that potential every step. So the only way I know how to do that is to hold people extremely accountable, make practice as hard as possible every single day so that you can get used to the chaos and the pressure I put on you in practice, and that will enable you to handle adversity come game time and you can make big plays, in the big moments. But really accountability is the crux of all of it, where, how can I say that I love you if I'm allowing you to perform at a lesser version of yourself, if I'm allowing you to give less than your best effort or be less than, your absolute best, then I don't really love you. I'm letting you, I'm watching you fail, basically, and I'm letting you fail. So to me, accountability is a huge part of my coaching style. And then really just love, like I said, accountability equals love, but I also love the heck out of my kids. I invest a lot of time in them. I get to know them and their families and their upbringings and everything. And, the more of a relationship I build with them, now the harder I can push them in practice and in meetings and in games, because they know it comes from love. We have a big brother, little brother kind of relationship, and they know how close this is. They know that this is real love and I truly care about them. And then now when I ask them to push their limits and I tell them that they're disappointing me and they need to give more, that really hits home with them, and they respond appropriately and they give everything they can. So that's kind of my coaching style in a nutshell and what drives me to coach. But I appreciate the questions, guys. Good round of Q&A. Been a good 2-3 weeks for the Sideline Hustle, really getting a lot of notoriety, a lot of attention. So just going to keep grinding, going to try and, keep it going and keep rocking with it. Appreciate all the love. Appreciate the support. Let's keep going every day. That's it. Episode 32 of Coach Talk. This is Coach Liebs. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.